Today we're here with Taylor County native Jeremy Taylor, born and raised here in Campbellsville, businessman, author, entrepreneur, motivational speaker. It's nice to have you with us this afternoon.
Excited to be here.
We just have a few questions for you. We got some big things going on. A lot of momentum, excitement. So coming from a small town, as Taylor County, population about 20-some thousand. When did you realize you really wanted to, chase your passions and, go against the status quo?
I appreciate that question, Jaqil, but first, before I dive into that, I want to give a special shout out to Tony and you as well, and KySports.TV. You guys are absolutely blowing up, so congratulations on all your success. You guys are rendering a great service, and a lot of people across our state and even across the nation are now excited about the videos and photos that you guys are able to produce for young athletes. So keep up the great work. I'm excited about it. I know I've been hooked on the website lately, watching video after video after video. I'm not even, you're trying to, you're paying me some compliments for being a businessman. I haven't got much business done lately because of all the great content on KySports.TV. But either way, you said it, Jaqil, small guy, small town here in Campbellsville. It's great to be here with you. Actually on the campus of Campbellsville University, alma mater, go Tigers, and then TC. I know you mentioned that. Another shout out. I'm big on shout outs. I love everybody else. Congratulations to Taylor County High School on their 5th region championship heading to Rupp Arena. So, it's cool to be here and to be able to reflect on some things in growing up. But Jaqil, I've just always been an encourager. I've always been excited about life. I don't know if that's any particular predisposition that I've had, and I don't even know if that's even possible. I don't even know if it's possible that someone is just by nature more positive than someone else. But I had great influences, not only from my parents' standpoint, but here in the local community. And so I've always felt good about really moving toward the things that I desire and dream for and hope for, because I feel like I've always had a lot of support. So I credit that a lot to this community. I'm very, very appreciative of that. But as I began my teaching career, as I wrapped up college, Jaqil, I was an educator, a high school basketball coach, and a social studies teacher. And then I was exposed to some business opportunities. I started thinking about some things differently. And along the way, I'm just one of those guys that I like to do my thing. I like the idea of being my own boss. I like the idea of going where I want, when I want, with whom I want. And the idea of becoming an entrepreneur seemed more appealing to me, and I took that step, and that's part of what my first published book is about. And some of those things that in there, we'll get to more of that here in just a little bit. But as I stepped out and began building a couple of businesses, and the speaking came, and the writing the books came, really, Jaqil, it kind of seemed like one and the same, because I could feel myself continuing to do more and more of what I was really built and designed to do.
Definitely. So, you writing your book, it's selling pretty well. It's been a huge success. Could you tell the audience exactly what does D.R.E.A.M stand for?
D.R.E.A.M stands for Dare, Risk, Excitement, Action, and Momentum. And it's been an exciting launch. I know support from yourself and all the hometown folk and business partners alike. It's really been an incredible, exciting launch, because I'm really starting to see the fruits of the labor. I don't think anybody publishes a self-help, inspirational, success, motivational book, obviously without wanting to help people. But I can honestly say that I didn't realize how impactful the book would be. I'm very humbled by it. There hasn't been a day, Jaqil, that's gone by since the book released at the beginning of 2015 that there hasn't been an email, a phone call, a text message, a Facebook message saying, thank you for pouring your heart into the pages of this book. It's really impacted me and inspired me and encouraged me. And the reason why I think that is, Jaqil, is because I didn't attempt to write this book with being an expert really on anything. I personally know that I'm far too young, although I'm 30. I'm far too young to really know as much as a lot of other people know in this life, and I'm yet to experience a lot of things that I will experience in this life. But I wanted to write a book that shared with people what I've been through, where I've been, who I've learned from, and along the way, allow people to meet some of the people that I've met, and really encourage them to become intentional about their growth and development. Because everybody has hopes and desires and dreams, right? But how many people actually go to work on those things? And I personally believe, Jaqil, that at the end of the day, dreams only go to work if you go to work. And so that's really the foundation of the book. I believe that everyone has to dare to be more than they are. Everyone has to take a risk to step out of their comfort zone, just like Tony and yourself here. Tony, with the launch of Kentucky Sports TV, he began doing some things against the grain that most people probably wouldn't do. It created some excitement. He's taken action on a consistent basis, and now seeing some of the momentum, right? Kentucky Sports TV is blowing up, and that's really where the foundation of what we have is. We just got to move toward those things. Right, we got to move toward those things, but most people don't move toward those things because they're paralyzed by fear. What if? What if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't turn out the way that I want it to? What if I fall flat on my face? But that's just part of life. Everyone has to take a risk if you want a reward.
Definitely. So we don't want to give the audience too much. Let them get out and as you can already see, the excitement, the positive impact that he has just in a short span of just listening to this interview right now. You definitely need to check out the book and read it. But just in your opinion, what is your actual favorite chapter and why?
That's pretty easy. And most people, I don't know if you could ever figure out why, but most people call me Mr. Excitement. Now, I didn't ask for people to call me that. I'm just an excited person. I was always the player on the floor. During games back in high school, wearing the Cardinal red, I was the hype man, right? I was always the kid in school, patting people on the back. I was always the crazy teacher while I was in the public education setting, doing whatever ridiculous things I had to do in order to get the kids fired up at a pep rally. So I've just always been naturally excited about life, and so the excitement chapter is definitely my favorite. In reference to the acronym itself, closing down the book is probably a little bit the more heartfelt perspective, in my opinion, because I really just kind of open up and really share with people why I feel the core reason why we do have dreams and aspirations and hopes and desires, where those come from. But from an excitement standpoint, I think it's very conveniently located in the middle of the acronym. You got 2 letters beforehand, you got 2 letters afterwards. I think excitement kind of bridges the gap between daring and taking risk and continuing to take action so you can see some of that momentum. So I'm just an excited person, man. I'm excited. I love seeing other people grow. I love the ability to help other people. Again, I just have a big goal, Jaqil, of encouraging as many people as possible to become the best version of themselves. And one way of being able to do that by leveraging my time and being able to impact people all over the world, because I can't be everywhere at once, was to write a book. And needless to say, I'm excited about it.
So, what was basically your inspiration for writing the book?
Oh man, the fact that I believe in society today, there are tons of distractions that are competing for our attention. There are a lot of negative influences. You don't have to go out and look very far to find something negative, right? You just turn on the TV, you're going to find something negative immediately, right? And so, number one, I didn't think, I felt like what's it going to hurt to put one extra positive tool in the marketplace? But more importantly, I think people are looking for hope. And I think oftentimes some of those people don't understand that the timeless truths that they maybe have heard from someone else, they're exactly what I just said they are. They're timeless truths. And so, oftentimes, Jaqil, maybe you heard some things from your parents growing up and they went in one ear and out the other, right? But when you heard it from someone else, sometimes those things stuck, right? And so I just wanted to bring a very simple, practical approach to sharing, what it means to dream, what it means to dream big, what it means to stay the course through those things, in hopes that it would connect with some people. So that's really where the inspiration came from. The inspiration was, number one, I felt something beating in here, and if I didn't put pen to pad and get it out, then I don't feel like I would have ever been satisfied. I want to help as many people as I can. But number two, I felt like I could see the need around me because of so many people just kind of wandering around aimlessly. There's so many people, Jaqil, who are going to work tomorrow because that's what they did yesterday, and they're no closer to the goals they don't have, right? They just kind of get stuck in this rut in life. They stop growing. They stop staying excited. They don't have anything that they're living for, really. I heard a quote one time, and this really hit home. This might answer your question a roundabout way. We'll just bring it right back here and close this question down, Jaqil. I heard a quote one time that said, most people die from the neck up at the age 25. They die. They stop dreaming. They stop growing, right? They don't get to the library. They don't read the book. They don't get to the class, right? They don't watch the show. They stop getting around people who are moving and shaking and making things happen in life, and so they stop growing. And if you stop growing, then ultimately you're conceding on that right and responsibility that you have to become the best version of yourself, so in turn you can help someone else do so as well. So if that helps, if that answers the question, that's my inspiration. I just want to see people wake up and go to work and win. That's it. Win.
Definitely. And I can vouch for that. You obviously being, a big mentor in my life, being a positive influence, and just really, keeping that lesson strong with me, going to work every day, staying positive, staying excited, surrounding yourself around people, successful people or people you wish to be like. So, I appreciate that, the inspiration that not just for me personally, but I know that, everybody else can receive by, reading this book. But, you kind of touched on it as far as the inspiration for the, the average person out there that, like you said, is maybe at a standstill in life, not really continuing to grow, not really as excited as they once were. What is the impact that you hope that they take away after reading D.R.E.A.M?
I hope the number one thing that people take from the book, number one, I hope the book is entertaining. Right? I wanted people to have some fun reading a book. I wanted people to be excited about turning the page to see what's next. I wanted it to be practical stories that they could relate to, because at the end of the day, I'm not afraid to share my faith, and I shared my faith in this book. I unapologetically share my faith in that I have a personal Savior, and His name is Jesus Christ, and He came and died on a cross to remove any obstacle that I have from being everything that God designed me to be. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Jaqil, I want people to know just that. Number one, I want people to wake up and move and start moving in the direction of what they're passionate about. But even beyond that, I want people to recognize their value, what they're worth. I think everything changes for people when they really understand how valuable they are. All right, not only to other people, but to God. And I think once you understand how valuable you are, you start moving toward the things that's been placed in your heart, because you know that if you don't, you're going to have a lot of regrets. And if you don't, it could mean that someone else doesn't get where they need to get to, because your job is to help inspire them by your work, by your best work, right? So, that's really what I want people to get. I want people to realize, you know what, I mean something. I'm important. My dream matters. A lot of people, they're not going to work on their dreams because they don't feel like their dream is important.
So just for the audience's sake, could you, basically tell them where they could purchase the book and, where they need to go get information?
Absolutely. JeremyandYou.com/dream. That'll take you directly to it. That's my home. That's my personal website, JeremyandYou.com/dream, and that link will take you directly to the Amazon link. Or if you go to Amazon.com, enter in the search, right, Jeremy Taylor, or the acronym D.R.E.A.M. You'll be able to find the book, grab a copy, and if you wouldn't mind, if the book impacts you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, it encourages you, it inspires you, it moves you. If you don't like it, don't say anything about it. No, I'm just but if you enjoy the book, please, by all means, leave a review. I would love to hear what you like best about it. My contact information is on my website. Feel free to call me, text me, send me an email, Facebook me, whatever it is. I want to hear the stories. I want to hear how this book has encouraged you. But also, leave a review for me at Amazon.com so the world can see what you got excited about the most. But I will say this, it's awesome, Jaqil, to have this in the marketplace. I can't say I ever imagined publishing a book knowing I only read one book in high school, maybe just a couple in college. I hope no one around here heard that since we're on campus right now. But there's so many people to thank, and I don't even think the acknowledgments page in this book even gives as much credit as credit should be given to all the people who've inspired me and supported me, encouraged me. More importantly, though, Jaqil prayed for me. And so this book really means a lot to me. It really means a lot to a lot of other people, and I know it wouldn't be possible if I didn't have the support from tons of people, especially Clifton Lamberth, one of my mentors writing the foreword, all the editors, those who had a chance to read it beforehand, we didn't get it perfect, but hopefully we got it right enough that it can help you along your way.
Okay, so aside from being an author, another one of your many ventures is motivational speaking. What basically led you to pursue that?
Oh man, I'll put it this way. I remember some of the first few times speaking in front of other folks, and most people, it's like one of the biggest fears, right? Like in the world, the fear of public speaking. People just kind of like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I can honestly say I've never felt that way, and I thought that was weird because I've always heard other people say that. But I remember, I'll never forget how I always felt growing up, and before games, my hands would get cold and sweaty. That always reminded me that it's game time, right? They get cold and sweaty. I get fired up, get ready to play. Even when I watch games now, today, that happens. But I remember when I started speaking to people, my hands would get the same exact way, Jaqil. I was like, I think this is a sign that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? But I've just always really enjoyed being able to touch people. And as I've grown as a business person, as a young man, as a Christian, as an entrepreneur, what have you, the more and more I've personally developed and gained insight from other people and mentors and read the books and listened to the audios, it's helped me grow my skills in that department. But I've always, I've taken a lesson from a lot of other people. They've told me, Jeremy, you have a way of impacting people and connecting with people that most people don't. And I took the advice of some people that I respected and said, you know what? Well, why not go for this and do it in a big way? And it's been great. It's really been an awesome experience. And one of the best things that I heard as I've grown as a speaker was there's going to be days when the opposition is going to be working against you. Wake up and nothing's going to go right. You're running late, or you don't feel good, or you're sick, or the plans don't go as planned, and you're not going to feel like sharing what's on your heart, because the last thing you want to do is go talk to 500 people or 1,500 people. You just want to do your own thing. So, but it's in those moments when you push through and you do share what you feel like you're called to share that you end up impacting people in ways that you never thought were possible. And I'm starting to see some of the fruits of that as well. So it's been an awesome experience. It gives me life, right? I get really, really excited about doing what I do. And so I kind of feel like that's how I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. So I know you talk to different audiences, different walks of life, different age groups. If you had to choose one age group or one particular audience that you like speaking to, what would that audience be and why?
Put me on the spot here, Jaqil, because I'm going to say this and then I'm going to lose all the other audiences that I might have. But either way, I've always had a huge passion and heart for young people because I feel like they're still moldable, if you will. You can still shape their opinions and their worldview. And that's not necessarily to say that you want to change their opinion. You want to give them the appropriate resources. You want to give them the materials. You want to give them the guidance to formulate their own worldview, but you want them to do it on solid principles, right? Principles that are going to help them grow, that are going to help them help other people grow. And so I've really enjoyed traveling to as many schools as possible over the past several months and continue speaking to young people, because I didn't leave teaching and coaching because I was going to do something what I thought was better. I still love teaching and coaching. I just didn't necessarily enjoy the institution that I had to do it in, and having to say, I wanted to say a lot of the things that I say now, right? And there wasn't really a curriculum or core content for that, right? Social studies are social studies. Personal development is personal development. I'm really big on self-development, right, on top of, personal development, self-education on top of public education. So I would say that adolescent group those teenagers, I really enjoy connecting with them. But I enjoy speaking to all age groups. Whether it be my network marketing business related. This weekend I'll be traveling to North Carolina to UNC Pembroke to speak to an organization there of hopeful individuals. So, man, I just love people. I'll talk to anybody. I'll go talk to a tree. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I don't know, but either way, young people for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a quote that I heard the other day. It says it's easier to talk to younger people as far as keeping their dreams and hopes alive, because with younger people, all you have to do is really help them make up their mind. That's all they need to do. As far as there's a lot. The older generation, they have to change their whole thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. A lot of older folks have been kicked around by society, been told no. Right. They've actually given up on some things that they want to do. These younger folks, their dream bubble is still pretty big, right?
Right.
You ask a kid what they want to do when they grow up, they'll say anything off top of the wall. You ask an adult, right? It's not necessarily the same as when they were a kid. Why is that? And you're exactly right.
So with that being said, to the the average young person that may be watching this, this hearing, may have read your book. They have big dreams, big goals, but they're not really sure where to start, who to talk to. What advice would you really give to these young entrepreneurs?
I would say the number one piece of advice that I could give someone is the power of understanding the power of asking. I think oftentimes people are so afraid to ask for help because we live in this society that's so it spotlights the individual and thinks that we're just so individualistic. We think that I can do bad all by myself, or I can do it all on my own, right? And at the end of the day, if you want to be a one-man show, you'll never grow. And so I think the number one thing is making sure people understand the importance of asking questions, but also asking the right questions. And so a lot of my growth and a lot of my success thus far, which hasn't been much, there's still a lot of room to grow, has been because I've really figured out that if I wanted something, it was a good idea to find the person who has what I want and who has the core values that I believe in and go ask that person how they got there. But here's the deal, not just ask them how they got there, but then actually do it, right? So I would say that would be the number one place to start. Ask people those questions. How did you get where you're at? How did you start your business? What's important to you? What does success mean to you? What books have you read that I need to read? Who have you met that I need to meet? Who are some of your mentors? So asking questions has been a huge part of my growth, and that would be the number one thing.
Definitely. Well, could you tell our audience, if they're looking to book you for speaking, any type of motivation, at any events, where they can contact you to do that?
Absolutely. Go to my website, jeremyandyou.com. There's a contact information page. My cell phone number is there. My email address is there. Feel free to contact me, and we'll be happy to speak with you and make some arrangements and come serve your community at my highest capacity, the best way that I can. So it's been great to sit down with you, Jaqil. Seeing how inspired you are about growing yourself and the path that you're moving down. I'm highly encouraged by it. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of where we come from, and I hope more young people move in that same path and just understand that life is really about getting out of your own way, focusing on helping other people, and continuing to stay excited despite a lot of the failures and obstacles and circumstances and objections that they'll face. Just keep moving, just keep growing. And my motto is, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And dreams certainly do come true for people just like you. And again, shout out to the Taylor County High School boys basketball team, 5th region champs, first time in over 30 years. It's going to be exciting going and traveling and spending some time with them at Rupp Arena. So shout out to them. And again, thanks to KySports.TV. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. And I appreciate the kind words. One thing you have taught me is how to stretch myself, get out of my comfort zone, fail faster. That's the key to success. So I really do appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Just one more question. You're talking about the Taylor County Cardinals. I think I saw you at the game the other night at the 5th Region. What was the main thing as far as, you know, the team play? I know they overcome a lot of adversity that night. You being, you know, one of the greats of Taylor County's for the basketball team, what can you say you was most impressed with that night?
Oh, wow. If anyone did see me at the game and you saw me get angry at a couple of officials, act like you didn't see that, number one. It was a great atmosphere. It was so fun. Greene County played a great host to a great tournament. You know, a lot of support there. It was awesome. It was awesome to be there also with some former teammates and some hometown friends and family members. It was cool. It was awesome to see Campbellsville alumni there supporting the Cards. Really was a great community event. But what I was impressed by most is that through some of the opposition and obstacles they had early on in the game, some calls didn't necessarily go in their favor. You know, Quentin had to go, you know, set the bench for the majority of the first half. And so maybe there were some rotations that Taylor County wasn't accustomed to or prepared for, but they adapted. I think they played with great composure. That was the number one thing. I think they played with great composure. I think they had a lot of great patience. And through some of in big games like that, it's easy to get outside of yourself. It's easy to get rattled. It's easy to let the game get the best of you. And then you start taking shots that you typically don't take, you know, doing things that you typically don't do. I think they stuck to their game plan. And also on the defensive end of the floor, phenomenal job rebounding. Phenomenal job going to the boards. It was just a fun game to watch and a great night to be a Taylor County Cardinal.
Yeah, I agree. I know Quentin Gooden got in foul trouble early. It was fun to watch, just seeing them. You know, that was a good team win. You know, not having their best player in, and just seeing the role players, bench players come in and step up. And
everybody made plays. Guys got to the basket. Brandon Berry, I mean, that guy he put the ball in the basket. He did a great job. David Sloan did a phenomenal job of handling the ball, handling the pressure in that first half. Just a great team win. I mean, a great team win. What better way to win? I read a quote recently from John Maxwell's Teamwork 101, one of his 101 series. He said, as the challenge escalates, right, the need for the teamwork elevates. And that's exactly what Taylor. It was a great team win. I'm glad you pointed that out. Work with some other folks on some other things. So there may be a potential to help them articulate their stories as potentially a ghostwriter for a couple of publications, but also a co-writer and some others. So it's been cool to see the response and the opportunity to work on some other stuff. But of course, I do have some things particularly on my heart that I'm continuing to write and share. And then very soon, in the next, we'll just say 2 months, you'll be able to get the audio version of D.R.E.A.M. So I'm excited to get in the studio, knock that out, and that way you can get some drive time university. You can hear me in the car while you're riding or while you're working out at the gym. And if you get tired of hearing my voice, obviously you don't have to listen to it. Whatever works best for you.
So that was the first regional win since 1980? 83. What does a win like that? Them going to state since '83. What does a win like that do for the community as a whole, in your opinion?
It's huge because there's great basketball tradition in the state of Kentucky as is. I mean, we have one of the most prestigious state tournaments in all of the country, right? And people know when it comes to Kentucky, basketball, right? That's how we do it in the Bluegrass. And so, for the past few years, well, not few years, I mean, we have one of the winningest program in college basketball, right? The University of Kentucky, currently undefeated. I mean, that speaks volumes in itself, moving into these conference tournament times and moving into what we call March Madness. But having such rich basketball tradition with Kentucky and U of L and surrounding schools, Western, Eastern, you name it, and that spills over into the small communities and these small schools. It's just great to have county schools going to a state tournament. There's a lot of schools out there, 6A, 5A, thousands of kids in these hallways and tons of athletes to choose from. It's not every day that a small school like a Taylor County High School goes to state tournament. We know it's been over 30 years. I mean, the year before I was born was the last year that we won a region title. I remember winning a 20th district championship when I was a senior at Taylor County, and that was the first district title that we had won since the same year, right? So I was fortunate to be on a team that won the first district title that got that monkey off our back, and now this big win taking us back to Rupp Arena in the state tournament. It's huge for the community because what it does is, I don't care who you are, everybody loves good stories. Everybody loves to support people who are winning, but also people who are winning the right way. And I think it's a very classy group of young men that represent Taylor County right now. And I think the community, whether it be if you're an alumni of Taylor County or Campbellsville, we can all agree that this group of young men represents Campbellsville, Kentucky. Not Taylor County High School, Campbellsville, Kentucky. I think they represent our town very well. And so what it does for the community, it gives the community something to be excited about. And it gives people the opportunity to also dream again, right? It does. There's a lot of people that shot for that big goal of getting to the state tournament, but they fell short. And so it gives everybody something to come together and celebrate and support. So I'm telling you right now, Campbellsville, Kentucky will be deep at Rupp Arena next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be right in the middle of it, right? Just don't take any pictures or get out any cameras because I'll be acting full with the game. I'll be having a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with what you said. Me being a graduate in Campbellsville, I bleed purple and gold. But what I will say is, they do represent the community well. And one thing I like too is, it didn't come easy. They've been working their butts off since the summertime. In the gym, weight room, putting up shots. 6:30 in the morning before half the students are even up. Before they're even up getting ready for class. So it's well deserved. And I give a big shout out to Taylor County, Coach Gatewood,
absolutely,
and all the fans. I'm looking forward to being up there myself and Quint cheering. My cousins Quentin, Brandon on, D.R.E.A.M, Austin Webster, all the whole roster.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun to watch.
Speaking of Austin Webster, I'm glad you mentioned him, and I love that kid. I had a chance to coach his brother Tevin, and he's probably one of the most coachable and hardest working kids I've ever had the privilege of working with. And Austin he's right there with him. It's kind of crazy cool that I'm tied on Taylor County's all-time scoring list with their dad. I couldn't hit one more free throw. Billy Webster couldn't hit one more free throw. But it's all cool how it all kind of comes together, and I'm just really excited about these kids. I'm really excited about the school. I'm really excited about the community. Again, shout out to Coach Rich Gatewood. Keep up the great work. The assistants there, the entire staff, the faculty, TC, the entire school district. It's going to be a very, very fun and exciting experience.
Well, once again, I want to thank you for being on the show with us. Jeremy Taylor, guys, mentor, friend, author, motivational speaker, businessman. Dreams do come true for people like you.
Yes, sir.